Hi guys, this is Shamrondi from Providence Life Design, and today I want to talk about some details that are in a vignette that I put together. So let's look at it. Alright, so in this video, what I want you guys to notice is that this here is glass. This is tempered glass, and the tempered glass is made for use underfoot, okay? And in this vignette, we're also featuring the Schluter metal trim. You know, I talk about this all the time. I think it's such a great product. Okay, it gives your product a very finished look, right? So your installer can use tile. That's fine if he wants to, you know, use tile on any kind of seating or anything in your shower, but you want your edges to look finished, okay? And then here where we are separating the mosaic from the large format, here you have another piece of Schluter running up the side. The other thing that I want to point out is the sheer scale of this tile that is flanking this mosaic. Okay, so here is a shot of the entire piece. Now, from the video here, you probably are not able to tell, okay, but from here to here to here, this is actually a 4 feet by 4 feet piece of tile that they had to cut right here, the edge of our vignette. So this is a pretty big tile. This is a 4 by 4 porcelain. The other thing about this tile, this 4 by 4 porcelain, is just how thin it is. It is super, super, super thin. So technology is allowing us to, you know, like create an almost seamless bathing area. Look at this. So there's your seam right there, okay, and then here is your corner seam going up. So could you imagine your shower like not having any kind of grout line, you know, at all in the corners? So this is an amazing product. Now, the thin tile, the reason why I even mention anything about the thickness of the tile is because this is the kind of tile, it is for the technology of doing tile over tile. So you shouldn't have a clearance project if you're putting this tile on top of existing tile, but you will need to treat the subfloor. You'll need to, you know, put down like a planter prep, something that is going to isolate anything going on with the tile underneath, okay? And then you're also creating an aggregate type of surface that your larger tile can, the thin set for the larger tile can adhere to, all right? So it's super, super, super large, okay? But you can put it on top of existing tile without having to do much like clearing on the bottom of your doorway. So there's a possibility you may have to have your doors taken off and they just like shave the hinge a bit, but what that is going to allow your job to be done without the additional cost, time, and mess of demolition. Okay, that's the root of all of this. So this tile is super, super thin, and you can lay it over existing tile. Okay, you just have to make sure that you have the right underlayment, and then this, you know, really pretty mosaic that you see here, which is made out of a tempered glass. This is okay for floors. Give you another close-up, right? So you can see the glass pieces. Okay, we did use a opaque color grout. There was something logistical out of my control that I couldn't, you know, change anything about that. But it wouldn't have been my choice. I definitely would have used a either like a quartz or a glass-filled grout, which would be much better. something that is, that'll make glass tile stand out even more. But, it's just one of those examples where in my past videos where I talk about how you have to be wise when you choose the color of your grout. Because when you choose the color of your grout, it's going to affect the aesthetics of your tile the same way paint will. So this exact, the same tile, if we used a contrasting color grout, the tile will look really different. The other thing too I want to point out in there, because I did a whole video on it, is rectified tile, right? So this is a rectified porcelain, and it is set really, really close to each other, okay? Really, really close to each other. So you could do that. That's how they set marble. But that's how they set this porcelain. And this is on the wall. So the other thing that I want to also point out, which is super important when you're getting jobs done, is that if you're going to put something that is larger than a 12 by 12 square tile, something that's anything bigger than 12 by 12, you need to make sure that you're using a pure product application, such as LFT, which I highly, highly, highly recommend, because this is a 4-foot square tile. Look at that. And this is just LFT that has this massive, massive porcelain tile up on the wall. Something else that you got to really be careful about, and this comes from an aesthetic standpoint. The difference between laborers and craftsmen. Now, this job is a great job, okay? It's great. But it could be so much better had it been installed by a craftsman and not so much a laborer, just an installer, because you could see the separation of your sheets. See that? So you have to be, that'll cause people to be really persnickety. Like, I'm a persnickety type of designer. Like, I want to see when when a primer is going up before the paint does. I need to know everything going on from front to back. So I'm glad I got to show you guys this, because I do not like bringing images or video into people's homes. It is really personal. It's different when you're doing a show house. When you're doing a show house and you're doing a room for a show house, then that's totally different. Staging is really more aesthetic than user friendly. Okay, it's more about like the look of it than the usability of it. So at the end of the day, it's really about customer satisfaction and them being contented with choices that are being made to put together their space. So I'm glad I got to show you guys this. All right, this is Shimani from Providence Life Design.